Yo, this is Misha Dex from YB Negative, and I'm here with.
Keymon,
Here we
Maddox.
go with this. Oh my God, that's too
You got
sassy. Rewind, rewind.
no. You have to come in with something that's fire. You get what I'm saying?
Fire. Let me think of something that's
Don't
fire.
you?
I could. What?
Hold on. Don't even start because I'm gonna put a poll out at the end because I feel like you should start off the next episode with like a rap or something. But that's just me. That's just me. We're gonna get money. We're gonna get money off your skills, player.
Listen, that's called pimping. Okay, this is.
Well,
just,
me and
just
girl, but
stay
sugar
trying to
free. No,
pimp
I'm just
my.
playing.
You always want to pimp my
I'm just playing.
creativity. Nah,
Nah,
so we dropped our first episode. Um, I do want to talk about something that's really dear to my heart at this point about literally getting off of recording our first episode and finding out that my childhood friend
that
passed
is
away.
so wild because that is what I was gonna have you start this conversation. I swear to you, I was gonna say,
Have to
hey,
do
take a
it.
moment and talk about. Go ahead, the floor is yours.
I just can't believe that the last question you asked when recording was, how do you want to end this? And in the midst of recording, my brother was calling, and I ignored because we were recording. And then when I finally answered the next time he called, I found out that my friend Kurt passed away. And that hit so many different layers, and it reminded me that alignment is not just when your goals match, right? Like financial or monetary, or oh, I got that card that I have kept drawing in my iPad, and manifest it. But alignment is when you say something and life is already cruising on that same frequency. And to know that I made this podcast as a gift, a love letter to my friendships, to the connections that are in my life, it was so hard to believe that my friend is no longer here. And so I definitely want to make sure that I uplift him, but also making sure I uplift all my friends that are still here, and remind them how much I love them. I appreciate the space I share with them. Kimon, as much as you get on my nerves, I love you. I appreciate you. And that was pretty hard to cope with, but the way it happened and the way I received it, I can't change it if I wanted to, but
Mhm.
I'm in a space of gratitude while grieving.
Yeah, and that's just a testament to as much as we do the work, like we're still not bulletproof to it. Like life is going to be life. Life is going to do what life is doing, and that was a clear indication of like, yo, we have our moments too. Yes, I
Man,
giggle. Yes, I show up and hit the jokes. Yes, I'm the first person to be loud or whatever the case may be, but sometimes I struggle. And
right.
so I just want people to realize that, like this is life.
It
And
is, but I also find it interesting that with every grief I've had, I've always found a way to laugh, right? So at the end of episode one, I was making a tribute to him. And I swear I was battling, like, well, how long do I let the tribute play for? And I heard him say, for real, Trey Misha, 7 seconds. I was laughing because I was like, really, Kurt? Like, this is how you just gonna come through? Like, I heard it vivid as all day. But the other thing I wanted to talk about as far as, because continuing to tap on friendships, right? What about those friendships where they actually are the deceased? The relationship is done. Like we have we've had so many different friendships end in our life, right? And I have my niece Tristan, and I always try to tell her, like, your friends now, God bless you if you got them later, right? Like me and your mom, we got something that I need to be studied because first of all, our name is Trey Misha and Tranisha. Like, how did that happen? But we got over 2 decades of friendship, and but the thing is, I've been through so many different friendships, and I could tell you that I used to walk away, right? But now I'm in the phase of, first of all, what's the trauma response of walking away versus talking it out? And sometimes you learn that those friendships from the beginning were toxic, but we still like
Mhm.
find a way to make an excuse to be attached, or we're benefiting somehow. But what about you? Like, I don't want to be the only one talk about this. Like, I know you've had some friendships in.
No, I definitely had some, and honestly, I wish they knew what I was feeling in the moment or the position that I took because one of the friendships was, you probably know what I'm talking about, but college roommate, this, that, and the third, grew up, um, shared same childhood experience or whatnot, and we're not as close as we were because of not feeling like I was siding on a situation, and all I can do is say I'm sorry. It
Right.
wasn't like that,
But do you
and
feel like, oh, go ahead.
no, and and so fast forward, like obviously we're good and things of that nature, but for me, in terms of friendships, I'm a Sagittarius, first of all, and I think I am quick to cut folks off, and it's no disrespect to them, it's just the utmost respect for myself, and so I think at this stage of life, I prioritize my peace
Mm.
in my circle because the world is tough.
I literally just had a conversation with a family member that I have not spoken to in very long. I was actually pretty shocked to get the call, but one of the questions was, why don't I get to see you? Right? And I said, because I have chosen peace. And it's no like hard feelings for anybody, right? But once you've chosen peace, you realize when it's time to choose other people, you know exactly what you're going to get when you choose peace. I don't know exactly what I'm going to get when I choose a friends function, a family function, associates function, or just going out in the world, in society, right? I don't know what I'm going to get. But when you get comfortable with peace, it's hard to shake it. We talk about all the time, like the value of friendship, but what about self-ship? I don't even know if that's a word. I know it ain't. But when I say in the past I've chosen other people over me, it's because I didn't choose me, right? That's going to be
Mm-hmm.
something that's going to always come up in our conversations is how I didn't always choose me. And now that I have, and now that I see my light, I realized like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go on and choose peace. But I can say there are friendships that I have to take accountability for them ending, right? Whether it was
Do
not
you?
having what
I said, do you?
no, I do. I do. I know
Nah,
there's
I hear you.
it's
I hear
it's
you.
it's stuff I walked away prematurely or um just didn't hear them out. But again, I think it's because we have different backgrounds of trauma, and then when certain things happen, we're like, oh yeah, I'm not dealing with this. This is too familiar to
It,
last again.
it, and then too, think about the maturity level. I mean, obviously, I don't know what age you were at when those friendships changed, but it with you saying that, it just took me back to last Christmas. We were taking pictures with Santa Claus, and my oldest, she asked me, she said, "Dad, why didn't we do this?"
Mm.
I was like, "Oh, that's a question. That's a real question." And to be honest with you, baby girl, Daddy wasn't mature enough,
Oof.
and that's all that I gave her. But as I let that question ponder with me, it was like, man, you let society dictate this. You let society make you move this way. You had society influence you this way, and it was just like, whoa.
But at
And
least you gave her
so,
something.
yes, 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 and definitely she deserved it. And so, when we talk about like, oh, walking away from friendships, you might have just wasn't in that space to
Oh,
understand.
most definitely. Because guess what? I won't take nothing back. Like the way one thing is for certain. I feel like
One
I
thing
am
to
the
the
most
show.
privileged. I am one of the show. I am privileged when it comes to connectivity. Like I have
Mm-hmm.
the dopest tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Like the dopest. That's why YB Negative will be a platform and to where I said it's a love letter to my friendships. You know, like they've been there. I have, I and the dopest part, all of them, my tribe, they all know each other. They all have access to one another.
Mm-hmm.
They know when to check in. Like, okay, this is what's going on with Misha. Like, hey, what do you need us to do? How the way they show up. But like last episode, we talked about not being able to accept compliments. I'm also struggling with saying I need help
You,
on the
you know,
smallest.
this is talking about alignment, and that was one of the other things I had for you today is like in this journey that you're walking right now, right? This moment of life. My question was going to be, have you gotten to the point where you can really ask for help when you need it? Because typically when we are going, and I'm a victim of this, when we are going through something, we pull away from the well that we constantly are used to going to
Right.
versus leaning on that well a lot more.
So I have two friends for sure that I am not afraid to ask for financial support if I need it, right? It's only
Yeah,
two, but I have a
I got
whole
a
bunch of
couple.
friends
I'm at
that I
three.
can ask. Nigga, you stupid. Cannot cut me off the list. Please take me off the list. Sir, can you say it in the camera? I will take you off the list.
Nope, nope. I'm gonna
No,
leave you on there.
I have two friends that I feel comfortable with. Not saying I don't have a lot of friends that I have a huge tribe. And I know for a fact, I know for a fact because it actually happened where things have happened and they have stepped in. But you said comfortable. It's only two that I'm comfortable asking for financial support. Everybody else, it starts going down from financial to advice. Like it's certain
Mm-hmm.
levels, right? But I do appreciate the fact that I have at least one. There's so many people who don't even have anybody to call.
Mm, yeah, yeah. No, it's powerful because some of my folks who I get around and they birthdays come around. I'm like, man, I don't even know. Like this dude got everything, or this person got everything. But what I realize is that they keep me around for my voice. In terms of
Please.
being aware of just self,
Yeah.
right? Not understanding I'm not perfect, just aware of self in terms of, could have probably done that better, but I chose the petty route. Like
No,
there's
I
so
think
many
people
things
keep
to
you
that.
around because authentically you're honest.
Mm,
And if you had to choose the friend that gave you everything but was fake and the friend that had the least but gave you honesty, the you measure it differently, right? It holds a different
mm,
level of weight. And I totally get that. I've learned that um the best gift to give your friends is your time. Just show up,
mm.
be in a listening ear. I have one friend who I won't say, and I said I was gonna call my friends out because they want you want to claim me. I'm gonna claim you too out loud. No, but I have one particular friend, and the reason why I won't say their name is because they have gone through a lot of grief in their life, and I guarantee you, I have been the person that they call every time and have answered. And my immediate response is prayer. And I always ask, do you want me to listen or do you want me to respond? Right?
Mm,
That's another thing that we got to get better at is asking our friends what their capacity is because we will bleed all over our friends without even asking them. But that was a quick little segue. But there's one friend in particular that when life hits, I'm the person they call. And I feel like that has become the best gift for them. And so it's as many friends you may have in life, you have to know which each one of them hold in your life, which weight
yeah,
they
no, for
hold,
sure,
value,
for sure,
and how you show up for them.
for sure, for sure. The power, it's power in that. It's power in being able to listen, It's power in being heard. Um,
Right.
within your circles, because it goes a long way. It goes a long way. But let's take it back. I just want to
Okay.
during your first when you was given taking a moment for your friend that passed, you spoke about manifest, like, oh, I
Mhm.
manifest, and speaking to you over these last few weeks, I probably feel like I heard you mention that a few times. You talked about manifest, like, oh, the Coldplay concert. I manifest. This nigga was in my DM. Like, I'm.
Whoa,
No,
whoa!
I'm just.
First of all, you
I
already
was.
know that ain't me.
I was just. I was just. I was just. But no, when we talk about like what does that look like for you, and do you feel like you're giving too much to it, to the word or manifest or
No, I feel like when you, for example, when you call your daughter by her name, you gave her the name for what? For what reason? So she can be identified, right?
mm,
I believe that you could be a parent to many things in your life. You could be a parent to your future. You can parent and coddle your past, and manifest is my child's name because I am building it up. I am building up my future. I'm building up my positivity. I'm causing the healing that I need. Again, manifest is because it's within myself to create this space and not assume anyone else will ever cover that for me, right? So again, I know it probably seemed a little extraneous to say, "Oh, what you name your daughter her name for?" Right? You name your daughter that because you want to identify your child. You want that individuality to be placed upon her, even all three of them, right? And so I think it's important for me to always walk in faith and carry that faith. And that's happened to be the word manifest. And that's honestly how I've been able to um, survive. Like I'll say something that sits on me really heavy. March 8th is International Women's Day, right? And so my friend Sonia, she did a presentation. She told me nothing about this in advance. She told me after. And she called to say, hey, I had to do a presentation at work today, and we had to choose one woman that we felt like was the strongest woman we knew. And she started listing without me going in my own detail, the everything she recalled, right, that I've been through. And it's not until somebody, tells you what they remember that you remember, because depending on who you are, you're walking in faith.
yeah,
And I got off the phone and I was thinking, like, dang, I wish I knew her. Her is me.
yeah.
Her is me. And so how am I able to survive the things that were mentioned? And that was her compliment, was after all that has been taken from you, after all you've been through, I don't know anyone so quick to give as fast as you.
Mm,
And that's because of the healing and trusting it. And of course, I cannot go without saying God and how that is the driving force in my life. But yeah, so that's manifest is definitely my word. But I got a question for you.
okay.
My question for you, and this may take you, your brain works a little different after 8 p.m.
Damn.
Um, if you had to rebuild Kimon, right? You had to pick three flaws, three of them, right? And you only can have two superpowers. Who would Kimon be? Three flaws, two superpowers.
Three flaws,
Three flaws.
like three bad things.
Flaws.
I guess I'll make it good or bad, right? It's on me to put the category. Three flaws. Independent, selfish, and I would go with stubborn.
I thought you was
And
gonna say something you wasn't, but okay, go ahead. What's your superpower?
superpower would definitely be connector.
Can you elaborate on
And
connector?
connector in terms of, I just feel like I have been in situations where I have connected folks that needed to know and meet each other. Um, I've been vulnerable with my story to connect with others. I shared my struggles. I shared my worries. I just feel like I have put things on the forefront just to make others feel comfortable or make others feel like it's possible. The other would be a healer.
Ooh,
I think, I think, I think through story there comes healing
I,
because
yes.
if I if I'm holding back what I've been through, and to know that you're sitting across the table going through something very similar, who am I not to share with you what I've been through?
Right.
And the journey might be different, the experience might be different, but the feeling is the feeling.
Whew.
So
Okay.
yeah.
You okay, selfish, stubborn, independent.
And I picked those words um for a reason, right? So selfish talking about being able to put me first, right? Because people think, oh, you're selfish, and it's always seen as a bad thing. No, sometimes you have to be selfish, and that's to
You
protect the
do.
peace, right?
Well, I have a definition for that. I do
Okay,
believe the word selfish was made so that we can visibly see that self comes before the other ish. I say
yeah,
that all the
yeah,
time. You have
yeah,
to be selfish in order to prepare yourself for the ish that's behind you. So
yeah,
I don't see selfish as a derogatory or a way to be mean or to cut others off or put yourself first. You have to put yourself first in a lot of things in life in order for you to come back. So yeah, I agree.
exactly. And then independent is that no one's going to do it but you. Like you have to wake up and get the things going. You have to move in emotion. You have to move with intention. So things of that nature makes me independent, forced to
Right.
be independent. And then stubborn is like, I don't want to do it, but I know I have to.
I
Like,
was hoping you wasn't gonna bring that one in this one, but I guess.
I told you I was a Sagittarius, and that's one thing that definitely comes with uh with being a Sag. So yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because we talk about the growth that we go through. We talk about being real, and a lot of times it starts with those kind of conversations of acknowledging who you are and what you bring, right? Like I'm a natural giver. And I feel like for me, when you take me out of my element where or you put me in a position, like say you over abuse or you don't allow me to operate in the space of a giver, I have turned mean. I like Parker. That man won't like this dude is so like he stand on business, right? Like he is who he is. He's loyal to a fault, but he's also so stubborn. And he will never let me open my wallet when we go out, right? But the giver in me has to operate in the space of giving. I can't just take, take, take. It does not feel good for me. It's not conducive to my mental health because then I start having these, narratives in my head that I'm taking advantage, you know. But
Yeah, I get it.
I just the point I'm making is that you have to know your friends and allow them to operate in their authentic powers,
Yeah,
right?
their superpower.
And the opposite, you have to allow your friends to challenge you.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if it's always peaches and cream, you really don't know them.
really don't. I feel like I lost a lot when I stopped clubbing. It was like, shit, I wish Singular had the 500 minutes for 29.99 because I would definitely be on that plan and well below my minutes, well
Right,
below my
right,
minutes. Because man,
right.
it's crazy. But you know what, man? Like at the end of the day, I wouldn't change it for the world. Like
No.
I grew up and I experienced like a life that uh, you can't do is laugh at it. Like, man, what?
Right,
Like you
right.
really did that? Or that really happened? And you know, and as I'm sitting here just thinking about it, I'm like, wow, like, oh man, what
I
a life.
can't wait to see how we deep dive into the growth of YB negative, right? Like there is so much life to be had. There's so many things that are going to take place for me this year, take place for you, us collectively. And the one thing I'm looking forward to with YB Negative in this platform is those friend circles, right? Like incorporating our friends into this space and have these authentic talks. And I think if I had to say one thing that I want people who experience YB negative to get out of the space is that there is nothing wrong with you. Like there's nothing wrong with your story, the choices you made, because that was the recipe to get you to where you're going to be. Because you won't miss what's meant to be yours. You may delay it. You may, walk two blocks further than you need to just to come back.
Exactly,
But I
exactly.
really hope that people see the intentionality behind this space and find it to be home for them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I agree because like you said last week, like we're not supposed to be here. Like who really? And so what? Like what is there to be negative about? What is there to
Right.
complain about? And as I'm saying this out loud, I'm really talking to myself. Just keep that in mind. Like, and
Right.
I'm gonna do that a lot throughout this process. It's just like, dude, what?
What do you feel is causing you to respond like that more frequently? Because again, Keymon,
Undel demons.
okay,
Undel,
well, come
yeah,
on. Let me go get the
yeah.
mic. You know I'm ordained. Let me.
It's it's just things that I think things that I've experienced or seen, mostly experienced though, is just like I don't want to go there anymore.
Got it.
Like I don't want to experience that anymore.
Right.
And there's conversations that I need to have with my parents.
Mm.
You know,
Jesus. Wait, we're going there
there's
tonight? This is the end
it
of it. And
was
you
it
be
was
going.
well, I'm
Jesus.
just like, you know, because shoot, mom, I love you, but she called me or I got a text because mind you, she always changes her number like every 3 months or
Don't do
whatever.
her.
No, but so I get a text that was like, oh, something you said my house and I'm not allowed to sit in your house, and I deleted and reported it as spam. Right, mind you, I didn't have her number in my phone,
Okay,
and then
okay.
I get a picture from the same number of my mom. I said, what? I said, what the hell? What the hell? So I call her, and she's like, well, you haven't invited. I said, I've been to Vegas multiple times to
We
take
did
you
talk
out,
about this.
and you didn't answer your phone. Your phone was turned off all day. You know I was coming to town, and then I offered to get you out here. Never heard from you. So where are we going with this? And so and so you know I have Liska say, no, no, but I'm like that's part of protecting your peace. I love you, but this shenanigans, I, I don't want I don't want a part of that right now
It,
because mind you, I'm over here sitting in my stank in terms of what I'm dealing with, but some people don't see that. They see the post, they see the oh, just bought home or X, Y, and Z. Like, oh, nothing's bothering him, worry
Hmm.
free.
Hmm.
When it's the complete opposite. And so that's, I've been told, oh, you think you're too good? Why? Because my struggles look different. Because I cope different.
Say it one more time because you're what?
My struggles look different, and I cope
Exactly.
different.
Struggles look
And
different,
so,
cope different. Wow.
so yeah, so um, so yeah, when you talk about what is there that needs to be done, like I need therapy, and I plan on hopefully starting it next month, February. That's what I'm gonna give to myself,
Hmm.
and I know me giving that to myself is gonna affect and move the needle in so many different ways, so many different ways. Because yeah, like I deserve it. I
And there
don't.
is nothing like a healed Black man who's a
Mm,
father, who's about to be a husband again, a friend. You don't understand the way you will operate when you already have emotional intelligence, but now you are fixing the, like you said, those gears. We're gonna move different. You know, I have my therapist, and for the first time, I actually treat my therapist like a limb, like a limb on my body. It's no longer business, right? Like I had this one therapist that was an older Caucasian man, and I saved him as grandpa on my phone because one, I don't have an experience really with a grandpa, let alone have a white male in my life that's listening and
yeah,
creating this space of healing, right? But then it was something about my therapist now, who's a younger woman, and she's also non-black. But when I tell you the bond and the things we have in common is crazy. I've never canceled an appointment. I'm always looking forward to meeting with her. And it's not that I walk in there with it all together. I just walk in.
yeah,
You just
yeah,
gotta and you just gotta start.
yeah,
Because if you've been operating in this space for so long and you're still wanting new outcomes, it's time to operate in a different
yeah,
space.
and different. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm a man.
Well,
I
I'm
remember the
supporting
first.
this.
Well, I appreciate it because I remember what the first time when I prayed out loud, and it was so simple because I thought it had to be this extravagant things, but when they talk about be ready to receive what you pray for, this is real. It's real.
Speaking of that, I woke up this morning at 6 to meditate because I knew our first episode was going to drop in. I
What does
prayed
that look
for
like? Wait, what does
meditation.
meditate?
I
Yeah, what
cannot
does that look
stand
like
you.
for you? Are you like in the grass in the yard, or
I'm black.
you just sit
Ain't
in a
nobody getting
chair?
in nobody grass. It's 6 in the morning. You know how cold it is out here? You is out your, I
Well,
don't even have a bra
well,
on. About
okay,
what?
okay, we okay,
It's about me and God. Don't judge me. The way I show up with God is how I show up with God. No, there's multiple ways I meditate. When I need nonverbal, what I mean by nonverbal, I don't need a guided meditation, and I'll play music with no words, right? And so the music actually brings calmness to me because I focus on the calmness, right? And I do close my eyes and I start setting my intention for the day or for the moment or whatever it is I'm battling, right? So
mm-hmm.
if I'm battling some type of heartbreak of any kind, dealing with family, friends, or grief, right? Um, for example, Kurt recently passed away, and then last month, my godmom passed away. I'll say their name. I'll say their name because I want to not only acknowledge the peace that they brought in my life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now that they're no longer here physically, I still want to uplift that peace. And so I can sit on the couch, I can sit on the floor, I can lay on the bed with my hands in prayer position. There's different ways, but the biggest piece is actually finding quiet. But not
Mm-hmm.
quiet in your home, quiet up here.
According to your mind, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I hear you, and I feel that. That's big. That's big. Yeah, all these things, man, I feel like are so crucial to moving forward, so crucial to to helping the next person, so crucial to life, and just man, yeah, I hear you. Damn.
So I'm going to ask you, how do you want to wrap up this episode? What do you have to give?
I'm gonna ride with the fact how we ended the last call with that phone call, and just say that it's important. It's important to communicate with your circle, your peers. It's important to just create that space and that home that we speak about. Because it's a cliche for me when they say you don't know your last time here or whatever them quotes be, and I sit up here and be like, okay, but go ahead and be in an argument. It's like that's not how I want to spend my last moment. It's like you
Right.
get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So yeah, so just be intentional. Be intentional.
Well, speaking of being intentional, and then you are the person I'm talking to, right? And we never, like you said, you never know when your last time. I'm gonna end with pouring into you. Um, I want to pour into you to the word I gave you last week was calmness, right? To be calm. Um, but not only be calm because it helps other people around you, but be calm because you deserve it. Like you deserve to have a space where you feel like you're in meditation mode almost, right? Not dissociated from what's around you, but associated with yourself. And the thing I told you earlier about this merch idea that we'll talk about later, you was like, explain the meaning behind it. And I said, because I don't want to create tension. I want to be able to create intention.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to end with I appreciate the bond that we've always had, but most importantly, even the disagreements, because I know I could disagree with you healthy. Like there's people who have fights and they are bad. They're cussing each other out, putting each other down. But one thing I can always say is that our disagreements are always full of laughter, and it always leaves a cliffhanger to come back to see what's next.
Yeah, for sure. So you gonna close out with a rap? Mic check 1 2 1 2. No.
Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit.
You're a hater. You're a hater. You're a hater.
Anyway, only got one thing left to say. Why be
A big
negative?
be negative.
You ain't gonna never get it right. Bye.